Hey guys. At first, I wanted to do a video on the Me Too movement, but that was way too boring. So, I decided that I'm going to talk about another thing I was learning about, which is facial expressions. Yep, you can probably see I don't have a lot of facial expressions, so that's why I was learning about it. And today I'm going to talk about all the different facial expressions that I learned so far from Paul Ekman's facial action coding system. It's basically what's used by animators and FBI agents and stuff like that, and what it all means. Okay, so I so far what I learned was all the muscles that can be used on the upper part of your face, and some of the muscles that can be used on the lower part of the face, and some combinations on what they mean. Okay, so I'm going to start from a neutral position, and from this neutral position, the first the first the the first action unit that that was talked about is AU4, a Action Unit 4, which this is basically the deflection of muscle unit 4, and it basically goes like this. See, you can tell that you have this action unit because you have this crease right here. Action Unit 1 is the second Action Unit 2 is the second action unit that gets covered, and basically it's just the raising of the eyebrow like this. Action Unit 2, and then Action Unit 1 is basically you're only raising this part of the eyebrow, so it looks like this. Oh, I'm very bad at doing it, but it's like, hold up. Kinda, kinda, but but then I still have a little bit of 4 there. So doing Action Unit 1 by itself for me is extremely difficult. And then you have Action Unit 5, which is basically a glare. It looks like this. You know that you have Action Unit 5 when you can see the whites of the iris. No, the whites above the iris. Or let me see. This is a mild Action Unit 5, and this is that's a very intense Action Unit 5. One thing that really surprised me is that the showing of those parts of the eyes is not correlated with happiness. So if you see somebody who seems to be smiling at you and their face is plastered with that Action Unit 5, they are not being happy. They're actually nervous or scared or maybe excited, but I don't think they're excited for extended periods of time. Or it's just a fake smile. Okay. And then you have Action Unit 6, which is the happiness action unit. I'm not too good at doing it without doing the lower lips also. So this Action Unit 6. This is very mild, and that's Action Unit 6. And actually, when somebody's really really happy, that's why you have that anime face. You have in the anime, in the traditional, what do you call it? Shoot. I forgot that the shoujo in the traditional shoujo anime, when uh when people get really happy, their eyes completely close and turn into basically moons, and that I actually saw that happen real life. When people get really, really happy, their action unit 6 gets so intense that it closes the entire eyes, and that's not to be confused with action unit. I think it was 43, which the upper part of the eyelids close. In action unit 6, this goes up. It could sometimes cause fishtails, mostly in older people and non-Asians, but it doesn't. But not me. Okay, see, 6 is right there. And what's related, what looks similar but is not, is action unit 7. Action unit 7 is often what you end up using when you try to fake an action unit 6, and you also end up using it when you're like accusing somebody of something. Like it it's your this part of your eyes are going up. So now that's a 4 and a 7. So look, this is action unit 7, and I am just doing the 4 with it because I'm not really good at doing the 7 by itself. Okay, this is a mild 7. Okay, it's like I know what you did. See, okay, see that's the 7 right there. A lot of times people do their 6 and 7 at the same time, because they're trying to emphasize their 6. Next is there's action units 43, 44, and 45. Are basically action unit 43 just is this. You probably didn't notice anything because I'm Asian. And then action unit. I got the numbers mixed up, but the 40 something series is basically closing your eyes like this, blinking, and winking. So winking, you can actually wink with action unit 43 on one side, or you could wink with action unit 6. That's the first time I was able to do that on one side. Okay, so those are the action unit. Those are the action units that I learned so far for the upper parts of the face. Now we're gonna learn about the action units on the lower part of the face. Okay, it's gonna be there's action unit 9, in which you squint your nose like this. Now, when you squint your nose, it kind of creates some of the muscles from action unit 4, but it doesn't mean that action unit 4 is there. If I do 4 at the same time, then that's a surefire. It means somebody's disgusted. It's a very clear sign that somebody's disgusted. So even if you see somebody do a split second of it, unless like their face actually just looks like this, or there's a very strong 6 with it, in which case they might be joking. They might be disgusted. And what are they disgusted at? That you can't solve with just looking at action units. You have to look at the context. And then you have action unit 10, which is not the same as 9, but this is action unit 10. This is a strong action unit 10. And then actually, if either one of those you do strong enough, you can actually raise the teeth. So action unit 9 can look like this, and action unit 10 can look like this. And for people who are undiagnosed autistic like me, you could often think that when somebody's showing the upper teeth, it's a sign of they're smiling. But Uh, that's not the case. This is not a sign of happiness, it's a sign of disgust. And this is not a sign of happiness, it's a sign of disgust. Okay, so that's that. And then there's action unit 15 and 17. 15 looks like this. Um, that if you just see that by itself, then somebody might just be like a pussy. But if you see that along with action units 1 and 4, like this, um, they're sad. So, especially if it for an extended period of time. And if that's just the natural resting face, then they might be sad all the time. Now, we're going to talk about action unit 17, which is like this. Basically, you're just raising your chin. Um, and it's very interesting because I'm a big fan of Kira Kurosawa and Toshiro Mifune, and one of the most iconic looks that I remember from Toshiro Mifune is the 10, uh, 10, 17, and 15 look, which uh, looks like this. Wait. Wait. Okay, I can't really do it that well. But those are the muscles that he enlists, and that's a very strong sign of disgust. Uh, Especially when paired with basically disgust is a lower face portion, a lower facial action unit uh, uh, expression. When anger is an upper uh, upper face action. So anger, if you see 1, 4, and 5, 1, 4, 5, and 7. If you see 1, 4, 5, and 7, basically they're angry. So uh, this is a sign of anger, and it's very strange because sometimes when you're in the moment, especially when when people are just busting your balls, and they 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 think you're happy. They might think you're happy because your upper teeth are showing, but uh, you got to look at the uh, upper portion of the face because it tells a lot. And what else did I learn? Okay, and that's it.